guys don't often make it into the pages or onto the screen of Evo magazine. But then the new I30N is no ordinary Hyundai. Powered by a 2-litre turbocharged engine with 271 bhp and boasting a front-wheel drive chassis that's been fine-tuned at the Nürburgring by people who really do know their onions, the I30N is very much the real deal. It has an e-diff at the front and a sophisticated quartet of electronic dampers to control each wheel. Its tyres have been developed bespoke for the car by Pirelli, and it has 5 different drive modes, including an N mode, which puts the throttle, dampers, exhaust, e-diff and ESP in their most aggressive settings. Oh yes, and it costs a deeply competitive 28 grand. So then, should the hot hatch establishment be at all worried? Oh yes, and this is why. So it does feel quite mad to be driving a car with a Hyundai badge on it and reporting on it as a first drive for Evo magazine, but be in no doubt, this thing, the I30N, is a really, really rather serious little piece of kit. It's not just a regular Hyundai that they've put a pokey engine in and stuck a couple of spoilers on it, because fundamentally this car has been engineered by a guy called Albert Biermann. I'm sure some, if not most of you, will know exactly who Albert Biermann is, but for those of you who don't, he basically made all the really tasty M cars for BMW for years, until Hyundai hired him to come and head up their N-car project, and now he pretty much designs all Hyundais, but this thing is his baby, and you can just tell from the moment you start driving it, because proper little weapon of a car. The power outputs and the weight and the torque, they're all kind of competitive without blowing the rule book to pieces. It's got 275 horsepower, 353 newton meters of torque, and it weighs about 1,500 kilograms. So 0 to 60 takes 6.1 seconds and it'll do 155 miles an hour. All that's kind of average stuff, but what you don't know from looking at the spec sheet is what's underneath all the oily bits, specifically the chassis, and the brakes and the steering, and they're all absolutely bleeding marvellous, I have to say. It feels really sharp. The front end is delightful on this car. It's a little bit greasy today, but it's got an e-diff, and you can tell. It's also got auto blip during downshifts. Great little 6-speed manual gearbox with really nice, tight, short, sharp throws. Sounds absolutely marvellous, as you can probably hear from all these pops and bangs. It's just a car in which you can't help getting a little bit carried away because of the way it's set up. You can really tell that someone who knows absolutely how to make a proper driver's car has created this thing. You've got various different modes that you can drive the N car in. There's Eco, forget that. There's Normal, which is quite nice because it chills the dampers down and the ride definitely gets better. And then you've got Sport. And then you've got the N button, which is on this side of the steering wheel. And when you press that, that's when the N car really starts to come alive. The ride is quite hard in N, I have to admit. It's just got bags and bags of grip. Mega front end. It's a proper tool, this thing, it really is. It feels like a kind of one of the best versions of a Renault Megane RS, and yet I think it's more composed than an RS. I think the steering is better than in an RS. I mean, forget comparing this with something like a Golf GTI. This is way more serious than a Golf GTI in the way it just feels sorted. Feels as if it's absolutely on your side. Really nice brakes as well. Really, really nice brake feel. Lots of power, but it's just the feel, and that's what this car has got in abundance everywhere. Feel and touch. And cross-country speed. Don't think this isn't too quick, this thing, because it is. I mean, alright, the straight line acceleration is not especially heroic, but the speed that you can cover ground in, because of the chassis, because of the steering, just because of the faith that you end up placing in all the controls, it's just... I think the Hyundai I30N is really going to put the cat amongst the pigeons. A, because it's just a fantastic little thing to drive, but also B, it's going to cost less than 28 grand, this car. That is a lot of car for the money. And I know where I'd put my money if I had 28 grand and I wanted to put it in a whole hatch. It would, I think, right at this moment in time, be in one of these.
So in a nutshell, the I30N is just a great little hot hatch to drive, with a surprisingly brilliant chassis, excellent steering, fast enough straight line performance, and a highly competitive price and specification. And just remember, this is the first of many more N cars to come. Yeah, the Hyundai N car has arrived, and the rest of the high-performance car world should probably take notice, or else.